Did you know you can legally start a bakery and sell bread straight out of your front door? It's possible because of something called cottage food laws. Today on CityCast Las Vegas, we're bringing back a conversation with Brett Boyer, who knows all about cottage laws because there's a bakery in his home. Back in 2018, Brett and his husband started Desert Bread, a sourdough bread and bakery oasis near Sunset Park. He tells us some of the challenges they faced and what they love about their unique work-life balance. It's Thursday, August 24th. I'm Vogue Robinson, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Brett Boyer, welcome to CityCast Las Vegas. How are you?
So good. Thanks for having me.
Heck yeah. Ooh, let's get a little backstory because you run a bakery out of your house. Why? Explain.
Oh my. I love the lifestyle. I love being able to be nimble in the face of sort of economic uncertainty, being able to just pop up once a week. I also love being able to have my coffee and then just start working.
I love that.
I don't have a commute. I just get to go.
And how did you get started? The catalyst.
I lived a traditional baker's life for a while, working early and late in the night in the Bay Area. And when we moved to Las Vegas, there just wasn't really a lot going on that was similar to what I was doing in the Bay. And there wasn't a lot of bread out there. And we were like, why don't we just make the bread that we were eating there? And I was trying to figure out how to do that. And I was looking at farmers markets. And one of the farmers market managers was like, hey, you should just do a cottage bakery. And I'm like, what's that? That was in 2018. That's when we started Desert Bread officially. And the rest is history. Now we're just pumping out loaves and croissants every single weekend.
Yes. So what is a cottage food business and how does that work?
So cottage food, I would say, is a relatively new construct. And I say that within the last 15, 20 years. Cottage laws started being on the books in various states. I think in Nevada it was 2013. And essentially what it allows us to do is create certain items that aren't super risky to bake out of your home, right? So I couldn't make charcuterie and then sell it to people, right? I can't do raw meats and things like that, but bread is relatively stable. And so cottage food is allowing you to make certain things that the health department says are okay out of your home for sale to the public. And I think at first it was really a way for people who were just home and loved, baking or something or wanted to make jams, that they would be able to do that. But the pandemic really pushed it in a new direction where we went, oh, wow, now pastry people who work in the industry are making food out of their houses now. It's now professionals that are doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I understand a little bit about it because I have a friend who started one and she was doing, had her own business. But I know you kind of have to make some changes to your home because, you don't have an industrial kitchen in your house. So what are the things you got to do to make your techniques work so you get the same quality of bread? Or is that even possible?
Yeah, it's totally possible. It took a lot of time in terms of, you don't just have $1 million like a restaurant does to start up and to put all this equipment in. And so I would say at a home bakery, you're going to see the quality just get better and better over time because we're going to be investing in things slowly. When we first started, for the first several years, I was rolling the croissants with a rolling pin, folding the butter in and rolling, folding the butter in and rolling.
Yes.
I also worked on a dishwasher at a restaurant I worked at, one of those bar dishwashers. Restaurants, you think, oh, they are so fancy, but it's maybe more so in Vegas on the Strip and less so in Oakland, where you're kind of not working in the best conditions. So I'm used to working in a small space. So I feel like I'm in luxury right now. We converted our entire third stall of our garage into a kitchen.
That's dope. I'm curious about, are you held to the same cleaning and health inspection standards as a brick and mortar spot?
So we don't get like a health grade, for instance, right? So the way that it works is when you first go into it, you're dealing with county and health. So the health department, you have to kind of create a list of everything that you're going to make with all of these various ingredients and send it off to them. And it's this back and forth process. When I first started, I don't even know if they knew what sourdough was at our Southern Nevada Health District, right? Like there's like, what's a culture, right? There's certain things in there that might seem weird. So the county can come out kind of at any time and just pop in and be like, what's going on? And we actually had a neighbor across from us that did not appreciate us for the longest time, but we had dotted all our I's, crossed all our T's. And so he wasn't able to stop us from doing what we were doing completely legally.
Who hates bread?
I tried to give him a loaf when we moved in, way before Desert Bread, and he said, we don't eat bread.
Like, do you want bread? Who doesn't want croissants next door? You could be my neighbor. You can move over here.
He moved away. We have a great neighborhood. Everyone is amazing, and it's awesome. We're coming up on our 5-year anniversary.
Yay.
And we've never had a single health problem or complaint. So we're doing it.
So I know you recently wrote an article for Eater about the evolution of the pastry profession. How have cottage food laws helped change the way pastry chefs or bakers work?
Backstory on that article, I saw this article come out in Bon Appetit magazine, and I just felt like it was saying that pastry chefs were going extinct, right? And the reality was we weren't. We're in the evolution, right? And we're moving in a different direction because restaurants are moving in a different direction. It's not making sense, and the margins are becoming smaller. So when the pandemic hit, restaurants got rid of pastry first, right? We're the $10 item on the end of the menu. I mean, I was doing it pre-pandemic, so we were already positioned. But these people who were working under savory chefs who controlled and called the shots, they would give them the dessert and they would say, well, I don't like this piece, do it this way. All of a sudden they were like, I'm in my home and I'm going to do what I want to do.
I mean, food is fun anyways, but I feel like baked goods definitely have this space to be sweet, to be savory, to be both things at the same time. And even when I think about the pandemic, my husband enjoys baking because the precision, he gets off on the precision. He's just like, yes, it has to be like this. But he loves that there is order in baking, and that is what calms him. And so when I think about your profession and the pastry chefs, people saying, oh, you're disappearing. It sounds like you're getting a bridge to freedom.
I feel like we're in a time where that shift is changing. And so you're going in and you're getting stock desserts that are made in like a warehouse now, right? And so there is this shift that we're moving away from the restaurants, but it doesn't mean that we're disappearing. It just means that you're not looking for us in the right place. Like we are here. We're just making food on our own terms. And you're getting a lot of the diversity of America now because it's not just French and Italian, right? Like there's a cottage bakery in town doing Filipino food, right?
Yes.
Milkfish Bakehouse. And so you're getting this plethora of really what Vegas is, right? We're getting to see all of us that make up this in the food that we're making, right?
To me, when we say, okay, what is it about Vegas? For me, it's we have so much spectacle that we're always unimpressed. So you can't try to say, oh, we have glitz and glamour. Oh, look at this 17-tier cake, or this, the largest loaf of sourdough is not going to hit it. So your business, Desert Bread, is much simpler. Why do you think that works, though?
A lot of people have moved here from California just like us. They know good bread and they know good pastry. And in California, it's on every block, right? Like Desert Bread in California would not be unique. It wouldn't be this gem that I feel like it really is. We have New Yorkers that come here. Same thing. They're looking for good bread, good bagels. They're trying to find these pieces of home from their other cities, right?
Yeah.
And we have such a diverse population. We have a French population. We have a German population. They all love bread. They all love pastry. So I think that I don't think Desert Bread's for everybody, right? Like I don't want to say like, oh, this is the end all be all of food. Our customer, this is what you love. They're getting something that I made literally an hour ago, put into a box and handed to them. it's just so fresh and so delicious. I think that's why it works.
Yeah. And I do want to challenge you on that, though, because it sounds like your bread's only for people who aren't from Vegas. But I feel like people from Vegas also know a slice of good bread, or else you wouldn't be making it, right?
That's absolutely true. Yeah. We do have a ton of locals that come as well, obviously. I'm just saying we have a diverse population, and I think that's why it works. I'll give you an example that our friends tried to open this spot in New Mexico, and they had a lot of trouble convincing people to buy a $10 loaf of sourdough bread because it's a smaller town. I think what Vegas has is we have two cities superimposed on each other. We have this multi-billion-dollar industry where I can go see Adele, but then I go back and my population is 2 million people in this whole valley. So we have access to a lot more. Las Vegans are educated when it comes to food. And I see that over and over again. And I love it here. And I love the population. I love the people.
Yeah, me too. So I'm thinking about your home. Okay, it's you and your spouse. Y'all are making bread, handling business, rolling berries into bread. It's your home. So how do you create a work-life balance when your home is your workplace, especially your kitchen?
That's a great question. That's a great question. It took a long time to get there. I'd say at first, I just felt like we were proofing all over the place and cooking all over the place. And Brendan was the dishwasher for, several years. I know. I felt so lucky. And we were doing Wednesday and Saturday pop-ups. And the way that I created a work-life balance was saying, I can no longer do Wednesday. And it sucks. And I want to be able to provide for everybody, right? I want people to have access, but I also am the only person baking. So there's a limit to what I'm capable of. But at the same time, I have a workshop there that's I really want to try this out. And I'm I don't have to go to a restaurant to go tinker with things, right? I have flour and sugar and eggs and butter on hand all the time. I don't really think that it's so overwhelming that I need to separate from it, if that makes sense. We also take 6 weeks off in the summer usually.
I support that because I was wondering.
Yeah, we take 6 weeks off so that we have time to go explore food and other countries. And yeah.
What advice would you give someone who wants to start their own cottage food business from scratch?
You have to realize that you're the social media manager, you're your PR person, you're your back of house, your front of house, your dishwasher, right? You have to do all that by yourself.
Accountant.
Yeah, you're an accountant, which I have now, after a time you need one. But I think if you want to start something, you really need to make sure that you're all in, that this is what you want to do, because it's easier in some senses, for me at least, to go work for somebody else, get a W-2, make my paycheck, not really worry about taxes as much or profit and loss from a business. So you really need to say this is the thing that gives me life. This is what I wake up and I say, I want to make bread and croissants for a living. And if that's something that you want to do and you feel like you're good at it and people want your product, that's the most important thing. That you can learn the business side and you can learn all the other things, but I'd say you need to fall in love with what you do in order to start a cottage bakery.
It is, if you get up and you're this is the thing that gives me life and that I care about a lot, then it's worth it. You got to have the internal motivation, but you hit the nerve. Oh God.
I wanted so bad to be an artist growing up, the little Brett in grade school, this little gay kid who wanted to be an artist, but I would draw and it would just look terrible, objectively terrible, right? I'm not a painter. I can't sketch. And when I found baking, I was oh, this is where science meets art.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You can create something that's art and then people eat it. And then in terms of business model, well, then they have to come back. It's not a piece of art that they've purchased from you and it's on their wall.
Ooh, you cracked the code.
If they want another slice of cake, they need to come back and get that slice of cake.
You're brilliant. Let's talk about this menu. And I need to know, what am I coming to get from your spring menu? What are my top 3 things I should put in my mouth and eat?
Oh my God. Okay, so when we talk menus, it changes weekly.
Oh God. Okay, but like, damn.
What are we known for?
Yes.
It changes all the time. Our chocolate chip cookie is a staple. Like you gotta get it, right? It's like I can't break free from it because it's one of the best chocolate chip cookies out there. It's really good. I get fair trade chocolate. It says no slavery on the package. It's organic, and I just fold that into a really delicious chocolate cookie with some Malden salt.
So are these crumbly or are they chewy?
Crispy on the outside ring, completely chewy on the inside. Perfection. It's so good. Yeah.
Sweet. Beautiful. Brett Boyer, thank you so much for sharing your food journey, your business journey through the valley with us. And we look forward to coming through and getting a few slices.
Thanks so much.
Hey, don't forget, CityCast Las Vegas is giving away 2 pairs of tickets to Life is Beautiful 2023. But you gotta enter by September 8th, so you and a friend can go see musical acts like Kendrick Lamar and Vegas legends The Killers. You wanna enter? Go to lasvegas.citycast.fm/LIB or go to social media at CityCast Vegas and hit the link in our bio. Good luck! That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. When you visit Desert Bread, bring a friend and tell them we sent you. We'll be back tomorrow morning with our weekly news roundup. Take care. Freaking food. Ugh.